Hi, Jamie here from the Center for Aligned Living, and I'm so excited because I'm going to talk to you today about your superpower. You have a superpower and you may not even realize it, and once we get discussing it, you might go, oh wow, I see, the light bulb might go off. I hope so. Anyway, so you have within you the ability to change your life into anything that you want it to be. And that superpower that you have is choice. It's that simple. If you want to have a different life, you need to start making different choices. We need to look at we don't need to dwell on the past and the choices that we've made to get us to where we are today. What we need to do right now, today, and any moment going forward, because that's your point of power, is now. That's all there really is, okay? But, God willing, if we have a future, then we should make choices now that are going to impact us in a direction that we want to be going for the future, okay? So, choice. So let's talk about choice for a second. We make, I don't even know, hundreds, maybe 1,000 choices each day, depending on what you have going on in any particular day. But even if you drill it down to, some of the choices are obvious. Am I going to get out of bed? Am I going to meditate? Am I going to exercise? Am I going to be nice? Am I going to be loving? But it goes all the way down to, like we're choosing our thoughts. And our thoughts are so wildly impactful on our future and our life and our feeling, the way that we are feeling right now in this moment. And that's it, And the more that you can focus and control with choice your thoughts, if you can think happy thoughts, you'll feel happier, right? And how good is that going to feel in a week from now when you felt good for a week, right? Just because of the reprogramming of your brain and thinking some more healthy, different thoughts, okay? Don't dwell on what you don't want, okay? Like, you can get caught up. I used to do it too. I'd sit around and be like whining, right? It's a waste of time. It does identify what you don't want, right? But let's focus on what we do want. Let's just say, you get together with your friends, and I know that I've been in these conversations where it's just negative, and all we're talking about in the past is what we didn't want, oh, so-and-so, blah, 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 and, I just can't believe that, that happened, and I'm so disappointed, or whatever. What if we sat down together and started talking about what we do want? And we started creating. Because we're creating, whether you like it or not. You're creating. If you're dwelling on negative, you are creating a negative future for yourself and a negative moment, right then. And it doesn't feel good, and it's not going to get you where you want to go. I see my cat back there in the background. She's going to come over and visit us, I betcha. Anyhow, so yes, choice is not easy, okay? It's not always easy. Some choices are so easy. Yeah, you're going to get up. You're going to, take care of yourself. You're going to take care of your responsibilities, all that. But then, there comes some other choices that are just more difficult, okay? Like breaking old habits that are not in your best interest. That's hard, right? That can be hard. You can have an addiction. And we are so hard on ourselves. We just set ourselves up to fail. We want a life, a different life, perhaps. It's so easy to always talk about weight, right? I want to lose 20 pounds, let's say. It's not going to happen in 3 days. It's just not. So how it is going to happen, though, is you make the decision that that's something I want to weigh less. So you start with choices. Everything is a choice. You choose to exercise some. You choose to mix in a salad. You choose to substitute something, maybe. What we do as humans is we were like, I want it now. I want, and then we get frustrated and we quit, and we still don't lose the 20 pounds or run the marathon or get the job or have healthy relationships because we don't do the work. So just start, if you can. Even just being aware of how many choices you make in a day, then maybe you can slip in a good different choice, Different choices lead to different outcomes, and you'll have a different life eventually. But we need to use those choices to our advantage. We need to be specific about what we want, and then start to make choices towards that. I'm telling you, if you just make different choices, your life will completely turn around. It will. And even if you just think differently, if you're like, oh, my ex, blah, 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 right? Maybe you just say, that relationship was good at that time, and now I've moved on to something, and in the future, I'm going to have peace and love in my relationships. That's good enough. You just let the other thing go, and there you go. You're on your way, right? And then you're not thinking these negative thoughts, because negative thoughts put in the negative chemicals in your body, but the happy thoughts put in the happy chemicals in your body, so wouldn't you rather just feel happy? And it all just builds on it. It just builds and builds and builds. And then you have momentum, because you started making choices that were on the healthier side, and you're going in that direction. And it's just one choice at a time. That's all there is to it. I know that it can be very, very, very difficult, especially if you're trying to break, like I said, those negative, maybe you have a limiting belief, it's just not easy. Or you're having an argument with somebody, and you're like, you're very close to heaven. I've been really working on, for myself, and we can talk about this another day, going from emotional reactions to conscious responses. So I pause. I love the pause. I make a choice to pause, to breathe, to step away if I have to, right? Rather than be reactive and maybe explosive, or, our actions have consequences, right? And especially our words. We can say things we don't mean. You cannot take them back. But it was a choice at that time. You can always go back and apologize, but it's still out there. So, choosing new ways of being. If there's something about yourself that you're not happy with, identify that. And then think, well, what am I doing? What could I be doing better? Okay? So you start with little choices. And don't set yourself up to fail. It's not going to happen overnight, perhaps, And you'll have setbacks. But that's okay. We're human. It is an experience. It's a beautiful experience. Painful at times, I'll admit. But it is such a joy to be alive and have all the opportunities that we have right now. This is such a fantastic time to be alive, and there's so many people who are willing to help, and just start. Just identify an area. You want to be somewhere else in a situation, identify what it is, and then get deliberate with your choices that are going to lead you in that direction. That is how you're going to change your life. Choice is absolutely a superpower, and let's use it to our advantage, okay? Let's start making healthy choices. Let's make as many as we possibly can. Make it a game. Be like, and then it's fun and build momentum, and then you're going off on a positive direction. I remember one time, just a little side note, somebody told me, and boy did it piss me off, that fear was a choice. And I was living in fear at the time. I got so mad because there was truth in it, and I knew that I was making poor choices to live that way and to decide to be that way, and it was a choice. But it was so eye-opening it was like being slapped in the face when somebody told me that was a choice. Yes, there are certain circumstances where fear is necessary and fear keeps you safe and whatnot. But I'm talking about actually developing habits or living fear based. I was working with a client of mine one time, and bless her heart, she was just terrified, right, of her situation. And I'm like, you have a choice. And she couldn't see it. And sometimes you can't, but you always have a choice. You have a choice to make a different life. Anyway, in this situation, she couldn't see her choices. And I'm like, well, she was going through a divorce. She just couldn't see any way out, or she couldn't see her way forward, right? And she said she didn't have any choices. And I'm like, you do. And I gave her some examples. I said, now, I didn't say they didn't suck. Sometimes they do suck. Sometimes you have to make a choice between something that, two things that just kind of suck. But staying put isn't good either. Living in fear, that's a choice, staying put. Sometimes you have to make the sucky choice because you don't have very many options. But it gets you going. It gets you going, and then something's going to open up, and you'll have the opportunity to make different choices, or more choices even in the future. But you always have a choice. If you want to feel good, pause for a moment. Listen to your intuition. What is it guiding you to do? Okay, in each scenario, pay attention to what you're doing and the choices that you're making. And don't be hard on yourself. Being a human is not easy. I mean, we've been programmed, right? We have all been programmed, and we have egos, and there's so many different names for it, but we have baggage, okay? Maybe some people don't, but I'm not one of those. I'm working on it. And so we have to deal with it, okay? And don't be hard on yourself. Just pick yourself back up, and maybe the next time the opportunity comes up, do something healthier, But just remember, if you want a healthy, happy, joyful life, start making some happy, healthy, joyful choices, okay? And I think that you will soon discover that the more choices you make that are leaning on the healthy side, you'll gain momentum, you'll see that it's easy, and it'll just springboard you into many, many, many more choices, and it becomes easy. Some of this stuff just becomes totally easy, and, if you're struggling in an area, like addiction, don't be so hard on yourself. I'm not saying, indulge, but even so simple as, maybe not simple, trying to be respectful here, just maybe do something different. Just instead of, let's say that you drink alcohol. I used to drink alcohol. I drank a lot, as a matter of fact. It was quite a wonderful tool for me to avoid problems. Little did I know they never went away. So, I stopped drinking, and I'm very happy. It was a great choice for me because I have young kids, and I want to be a good example, and I don't want to disconnect anymore. But that's me. Let's just say you struggle with, maybe you have wine or beer or whatever every night. Maybe just go for a walk. Put it off, Substitute it with a healthy choice. See how you feel after that, right? It's a thought. It could work a little. I know that, I used to get addicted, not addicted, but I had, sugar. I like to eat sweets, cookies in particular. I loved them. And so I don't tell myself I can't eat cookies because I want what I can't have. Does that sound familiar? But what I do instead is, I'll just grab some fruit, or something healthy, and so I make a substitute. And then I discover I don't really want that, processed food anymore. This satisfied my need right now. So that was like a win. If it comes up again later, I remember, I do this because periodically, it's like if you eat sugar, then it's like you want sugar. And so then I'll go down that trail of eating, making poor eating choices. And then I'll okay, it's time to start mixing some fruit here, like I said. And so I would do that. And then you go back to the brownie or cookie or whatever, and it kind of tastes like crap because you're used to real food. And you're used to that feeling that it gives you. It's much better than the artificial. Just some food for thought there of making choices. So, thank you for watching this. I hope that you maybe got something from it there, a little nugget that might help you. Love to hear from you if you have any questions or if you experiment with thinking about your choices and being deliberate. I'm always here, so just reach out. All right? In the meanwhile, just remember we all have different baggage. We're all looking at the world through our own eyes of experience. Be kind to others and to yourself, because it's hard to be kind to other people when you can't even be kind to yourself. So I would ask that you do that, make that a choice, is to be kind to yourself and just slow down if you have to, and take breaks, whatever you need to do. Just take care of yourself, and I will see you again very soon. All right, take care.